The elevator doors opened with a chime, and Emily Carter stepped into the sleek, polished lobby of LuxTech Industries, the tech giant known as much for its cutting-edge innovation as for its intimidating work culture. She clutched her leather-bound folder tightly against her chest, her fingers trembling slightly. She didn't belong here. At least, not according to most people. She smoothed her second-hand blazer and took a deep breath. The receptionist gave her a quick once-over, arching a perfectly shaped eyebrow. "You're here for the junior AI developer interview?" Emily nodded. "Yes, Emily Carter." The receptionist hesitated for half a second before gesturing. "Top floor. Mr. Blake will see you shortly." As Emily rode the glass elevator upward, she caught a glimpse of her reflection, simple ponytail, no makeup, and a confident yet quiet fire in her eyes. She thought of her father, back home in Nebraska, fixing the old tractor before dawn and always saying, "Don't let where you come from decide where you're going." The doors opened to a vast executive suite. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooked the city skyline, and modern art lined the walls. Emily was led into a boardroom with a sleek black table and an intimidating air. At the far end sat Adrian Blake, the 35-year-old self-made billionaire who had built LuxTech from a garage startup into a global empire. He was young, sharp-jawed, and known for his brilliance, as well as his complete lack of patience. Adrian didn't look up when she walked in. He continued reviewing a paper on his tablet. "Emily Carter." "Yes, sir." "Let's see." He flipped through her resume. His voice slowed. "Grew up on a farm, no Ivy League, local university, part-time jobs." "Wait, you coded an irrigation scheduling app during college?" "Yes. It helped local farmers automate watering cycles based on weather patterns. I used open-source tools." Adrian chuckled, glancing at his assistant with a smirk. "You built a crop watering app and think that qualifies you for AI development at LuxTech?" Emily's face flushed slightly. "Yes, sir. I believe the core of innovation is solving real problems, no matter where they come from." He leaned back in his chair, folding his arms. "Tell me something, Miss Carter. Do you know how many people walk through these doors with degrees from MIT and Stanford? Do you think coming from a farm gives you an edge here?" There was a pause in the room. Adrian's tone wasn't angry. It was dismissive. "I think where I come from taught me to work without excuses," Emily replied, softly but firmly. "I learned to repair old hardware using scrap parts. I taught myself code after finishing barn chores. My solutions might be simple, but they work." The room fell quiet. One of the HR managers bit her lip nervously. Adrian stood up, now mildly intrigued. "All right, you've got 10 minutes. There's a coding station over there. Solve the prompt on the screen. Let's see what a farmer's daughter can do." Emily walked to the desk, sat down, and read the algorithm problem. It was tough, but she'd seen harder. She started typing, fingers moving steadily. Her heart pounded, not from fear, but from focus. Behind her, Adrian and the others watched. She didn't pause. In exactly 8 minutes, she stood up. "It's done," she said. Adrian walked over and scanned the screen. His expression changed, subtly at first, then visibly. He scrolled, double-checked the logic, and finally ran the test. The output was flawless. More than that, the code was optimized, running significantly faster than their internal models. He looked at her, stunned. "Did someone help you with this?" Emily shook her head. "I've done similar work before, back home." He stared at her for a long moment, then turned to the others. "We're done here. Thank you, Emily." Emily nodded, trying to keep her disappointment hidden. As she turned to leave, she heard Adrian whisper to his assistant, "Run a background check on AgriSync. If it's really her, call me immediately." Emily walked toward the elevator, unaware that she'd just shaken the foundations of a billion-dollar company, simply by staying true to who she was. Emily didn't expect a callback, not after the way Adrian Blake had mocked her, but the next morning, as she helped her father unload hay bales at the farm, her phone buzzed. "Miss Carter," a voice said, "Mr. Blake would like to schedule a follow-up meeting today. Can you be at LuxTech by 2 p.m.? She hesitated, wiping sweat from her brow. "Yes, I'll be there." 2 hours later, she walked into the same boardroom, but this time Adrian Blake was already standing, waiting for her with a different expression. Gone was the arrogance, the smirk. In its place was something closer to curiosity and respect. "I owe you an apology," he said without ceremony. Emily blinked. "Excuse me." "I looked into AgriSync, the open-source agricultural software that's quietly transforming small farms across the Midwest. You built that, all of it." Yes. I didn't have the money for patents or marketing. I just shared it online." Adrian shook his head in disbelief. "You could have sold that system for millions." Emily shrugged. "That wasn't the point. My dad always says, if you can fix something that helps people, you should. Not everything has to be about profit." That silenced the room. Adrian walked around the table and handed her a new contract. "What if I told you I want you to lead a new division at LuxTech, one focused on rural innovation, farm tech, smart tools, scalable AI, built by someone who understands it from the ground up?" Emily stared at him. "You want me to lead a team? I thought I was being considered for a junior developer role." "You were," he said, "but you don't belong behind someone else's keyboard. You belong at the head of the table." She looked at the contract, but more than that, she looked at his face. This wasn't a stunt. Adrian was genuinely impressed. "But why me?" she asked. "You have developers with better degrees." "True," he said, "but none of them coded a precision farming platform using broken laptops and free code, and none of them ever made me feel ashamed of how I judged someone." He paused, then added with a wry smile, "Besides, I need someone around here to remind me that real intelligence doesn't always wear a suit." Emily smiled, folding her hands. "One condition." Adrian raised an eyebrow. "Name it." "I want to hire interns from rural colleges, kids who wouldn't normally get a shot at a place like this." He nodded slowly. "Done." Weeks passed, and news spread across tech blogs and social media. "Farm girl leads rural tech revolution at LuxTech." Investors were intrigued. The media couldn't stop talking about the farmer's daughter who'd humbled a billionaire. Emily didn't care about the attention. What mattered was seeing ideas come to life, affordable tools for farmers, weather-adaptive irrigation systems, crop health monitoring via drone AI. One evening, as she walked past Adrian's office, he called her in. "You're making me look bad, Carter," he said, smiling as he motioned toward a glowing investor chart. "Our stock is climbing because of you." She laughed. "Then I'd say we make a good team." He paused. "No hard feelings about how I treated you at first." She met his eyes. "You judged me, but you also listened. That matters more." There was a long silence between them. Comfortable now, not awkward. "You know," he said, "this company, it needed a bit of dirt under its nails." "And maybe," she replied, "you needed to be reminded what real grit looks like." Months later, Emily stood on stage at a national tech conference, presenting LuxTech's new rural AI suite. Behind her sat top executives, including Adrian Blake. She looked out at the crowd, corporate leaders, journalists, and even a few young students from rural schools. Her voice was steady. "I was told once that barnyard grit doesn't belong in boardrooms, but I believe that brilliance can come from anywhere, if someone's brave enough to see it." The crowd erupted in applause. In the front row, Adrian smiled, not because he had discovered her, but because she had proven herself in a way no one else could. Emily Carter, once mocked as a farmer's daughter, was now a leader, a visionary, and a symbol of everything the tech world had forgotten: heart, humility, and unstoppable resilience.